What's up, my YouTube peoples, and welcome back to another League of Legends video. As you can see, I got the mic a fair distance away from me, and I hope everybody should be hearing me because I can hear me. It doesn't make any sense, but yes, I got a few complaints saying, I'll be shouting in the mic and that shit distorts everything. So I actually fixed that up. The mic level was actually pretty low, so that's why I was up close like this and talking. But now I can stay a distance and everybody can still hear me. So I apologize for all the shouting and like blowing out all the ears, but yes, I am extremely sorry. But yes, today we're hopping back into another Necrit video, guys. We are just going to see how old champs are according to their freaking lore. So we're just gonna see how old Poppy is, my girl Poppy, Lulu, every single one of them. We're just gonna see how old they are, because I know for a fact that a lot of persons be old as. But yeah, I hope everybody's feeling good. I hope every single one of y'all are just healthy to the bone. Come on, are you eating something healthy right now? I hope you're not eating some friggin' ice cream or popsicle or some shit right now, you know. Be healthy, stay healthy, and be good. And let's hop in the video, guys. Let's fucking go. Come on, boy, Necrits.
So, after a very long time, it seems like I'll be remaking the most popular... formerly most popular video on the channel. We'll be talking about how old champions are according to
Swain and his
years ago
freaking Ravens, man.
We didn't even have the official timeline. That's why by now it is heavily outdated. But even after we got the timeline in the Realms of Runeterra book, we still didn't know what was the
man have
current
so many books.
The last event mentioned on the timeline was when Swain took over Noxus. But that also happened a while ago. Thankfully, then comes the Ruined King to the rescue. As the Ruined King game was released, we got an extra timeline that extends to the present day. So right now, we know that the present year in Runeterra is 998.
998
so we are 2
years.
years from the Noxian big anniversary. Speaking of which, here is how the years work. When we go into the negatives on the timeline, remember that we have to add 1000 years to the age. Because we also have 1000 years that goes into the positive side. And the moment humanity started counting years was when Noxus was founded as an empire.
Okay.
That is year 0. So, know that this video will be the most accurate way to pinpoint the age of all champions.
All champs.
A lot of people mentioned that a writer said this and a writer said that.
Yeah,
Forget all of that.
Yeah, that's
we are going way more accurate. I have read the lore of all 158 champions, with their average of 5 pages of...
Yo, my boy. Why doesn't Necrit have over 1 million subs? Yo, this is the guy for League of Legends and my guy doesn't even have 1 million subs yet. What is going on? What the...
of lore per champion, it means I roughly read the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy worth of content. But it was all exposition about the champion's origins. Still, to make sure I wouldn't miss a major detail, I streamed this research live. And it took us 9 different streams to complete the list.
Wow.
Still, remember, the lore of League of Legends is massive, and it is easy to miss something. So if you noticed something I didn't, let me know in the comments below. Also,
my boy read everything.
Not all champions have their age written down.
This is
there
Sheko,
will
right?
be a lot of estimating too, but I'll let you know
Core
when
key.
that happens. Finally, I'll try to go alphabetically, but I'll bunch some champions together whenever it makes sense.
Good boy.
So now, with all of this said, without further ado, let's tackle this monstrosity.
Let's go, bro.
Starting with Aatrox. He was very easy to pin down since we know that he was there during the rise of the God Warriors.
Okay.
So he is roughly 5,998 years old. When it comes to Ahri, her story in The Ruined King mentions that she is at least a century old. So she is definitely over 100. But she is more likely 200 years old, since she mentioned that she is older than everyone else in the Ruined King game combined. Akali is an amazing proof of something you may not realize. Champions are older than you think.
Yo, is your my
and
girl
that's
sexy?
because the story keeps progressing.
Tattoos,
and the
yo.
years
What
go
the
by.
fuck, Akali?
You may think that Akali is, what, 19 years old?
Yeah.
21?
20.
Well, in reality, she is 29.
What?
We know this because her story mentioned that she was 14 when the Noxian invasion happened.
So
Since the Noxian
all that
invasion
time
took about a year to start, and more importantly, since the Noxian invasion happened 14 years ago,
Akali is
it
not
is
29?
right here on the timeline. We know for a fact that Akali is 29 years old. This is set in stone. When it comes to Akshan, his age is not referenced anywhere. He might be around 30, but it is a pure estimation.
he look
Alistar
old.
is about 300 years
Gee,
old,
that's
simply
crazy.
because his story mentions that he is centuries old. When it comes to Amumu, we
nobody
don't even
knows.
know what he is. If he's a Yordle, he's immortal. If not, I have no idea.
Nobody knows how. Nobody knows.
Anivia is
Anivia.
over 10,000 years old, because her bio mentions that she lived before mortals in Freljord.
but
with the
remember,
first
she
mortal
dies.
war happening in the First Lands, also known as Ionia, 10,000 years ago.
10,000
Also,
years.
remember, she had to be there during the War of the Three Sisters. Annie, and you might not believe this,
Three?
is 9 years old now.
I said
she
three
is
like I'm
definitely
fucking
not
stupid.
the child she is in the game.
9 years.
We know this because her bio mentions that she was born during the last years of Borem Darkwill, which is when
Borem
Swain
Darkwill.
took over Noxus.
Okay.
Aphelios has no reference anywhere.
Aphelios.
He is roughly 26 by pure estimation.
Yeah, he
Ash
looks
and
pretty young.
Sejuani are both similar
30,
age.
30.
We have seen them in the comic, but it is still hard to estimate
About
their
30.
age. We know that Sejuani is Udyr's daughter, so if Udyr had her at the age of roughly 26, Sejuani and Ash would be roughly 30.
About 30.
And Udyr would be about 56.
Yeah, close to 60 years.
Aurelian Sol was there at the beginning
At the beginning of
reality.
time, so my boy
When
just.
Azir lived, his bio mentions that he was 15, then quote-unquote years passed,
So my
and
boy,
then another
he
decade
got
happened.
ascended
So by the
from when
time
he
his
was
failed
15.
ascension happened, he would be around 30. So in the present days,
okay.
Azir would be 3,031
And 31 years old.
Just like Aurelian, Bard
Bard.
was there at the beginning.
At the beginning. Celestial
Blitzcrank
beings,
would
man.
be roughly 8, because that's when the major chemical spill happened in Zone.
And he got made.
Brand has to be older than 519, because he burned down Raigan's Reach when he was about 19, and apparently it happened many centuries ago according to the map.
Yo,
Braum is likely over 60, but it's a pure estimation.
that mustache.
All of
Yo,
his
my boy is 60 and
Caitlyn
he's
seems
so
to be
big.
older than Vi, but it's just a theory.
No.
We'll talk about Vi in just a bit, but by pure estimation, Caitlyn has to be about 33. Despite
33?
everyone
Oh,
thinking that Camille is ancient,
I know Camille is
in
old.
reality,
She's probably like
she
80
is
something.
About 80. We know that she killed her Bolding
About
brother,
80, yes,
who
and
died at
she
the
used
age
a
of
fucking
roughly
hex
70,
tech.
with another 10 years going into the present.
Oh.
Cassiopeia starts a really crazy chain. You see, she was older than Sivir during their story. Sivir also has no reference in her lore.
Yes,
but
more-
if Sivir is roughly 30 in the present,
She's probably like
Cassiopeia
50.
would have to be about 35.
35,
but
okay.
she is the youngest daughter of the Dukuto family.
Dukuto.
Which means that by connection,
See her
Katarina has to be older than Cassiopeia.
What?
So right now, Katarina might be over 35 years old.
And she looks like this.
Cho'Gath has no lore. Corki has no lore.
Oh, shit.
Darius has to be over 40. We know that he was 32 during the comics, with about 8 years
40.
going into the present.
You're my
day.
boy 40 and
Diana and Leona are both pure estimations. However, in their recent story called Rise With Me, we learned that Leona was shield-aged, while Diana wasn't. Now, if shield-aged means that Leona was about 16, you know, the point
That's
when she
shield
starts
age?
taking on responsibilities.
Okay.
First of all, it would mean that in the story where they kissed, Leona would be 16 and Diana would be 14. But even if we raise it up by 2 years,
Yo, my
so
God.
that the shield age is 18, Diana would still be 16, and their estimated age would be 35 for Diana.
Yo,
and
Leona.
37 for
Leona
Mundo.
is a
Mundo
freaking
is about
pedophile.
28 years old.
Huh?
He was about 25 when he became a bodyguard. Draven is over 36 years old. He is Darius's younger brother.
Younger brother, yes.
Now, normally, I would
Echo.
guess that Echo
Like
is about
15?
23 years old.
So old?
But he might be a lot closer to something like 26. Similar age to Jinx, who is Vi's younger
What?
sister.
Yo, damn it. These fucking people so
With
old.
Vi being roughly 30, with the only reference being a loose connection to
How is
Renata,
Kid?
where Renata mentioned that Camille might be connected to the murder of her parents. So if Vi was found in the ruined alchemy lab of Renata's parents, that happened over 30 years ago.
Wow.
This also means,
Renata
because
Glass.
Renata's parents died when she was 15, Renata would be
45.
over 45 years old.
Mommy.
Elise is about 300 years old.
Jesus
Her bio
Christ.
mentions that she is centuries old.
That's the Black Widow.
Evelyn is 1011 years old. She was born during the Rune Wars. By a pure estimation
like when she was
and
me,
relation to
Ezreal.
the other
Ezreal
champions,
probably the same.
Ezreal would be about 27.
Yeah, same like
Fiddlesticks
Jinx.
being likely a primal demon
From
might
the
have
beginning.
been there since the beginning as well.
Yep.
Fiora is estimated to be
35?
roughly 30,
30.
because she was 18 when Jarvan III was still alive.
Okay.
Fizz has to be over 10,000 years old.
The playful
since he lived
trickster.
before the Landwalkers.
Wow.
Gangplank is estimated to be 50, based on the story he has with Misfortune.
Misfortune.
With Misfortune being roughly 30. She was 11 when her mother died, when Gangplank was roughly 30.
Wow.
Garen is estimated to
Same
be
as Fiora.
28 years old.
Fiora's older
That's
than Garen?
because he was 18 when Tiana became the High Marshal.
Tiana?
Which,
Lord, look
Sona's
at me
story
shit.
revealed, happened when Lord Bevel died. So
Isn't that what? Isn't that an item in the game like this? Angus. What?
that had to happen about 10 years ago. Connected to that, we also
Sona.
know that Sona
28?
is 21. That's
Ooh,
because
she's a-
she was 6 or 7 when the Noxian invasion happened.
She's a
Which,
cutie.
once again, happened 14 years ago.
21.
So yes, Sona is only
What's 9 plus 10?
21. Lux has to be about 25, since she is
Oksana.
Garen's younger sister.
Yeah.
Jarvan has to be about 28, because he is similar age to Garen.
Yeah.
Xin Zhao is interesting.
35.
He should be roughly 58.
Yo, these Noxians, like they don't age whatsoever. You see Darius scatter.
About 12 years younger than Jarvan III, who was very old in the comics. So if Jarvan III was about 70 when he died, Xin would be 58.
Sky.
Quinn should be 27. That's
Quinn.
because Lord Bevel died 2 years after Quinn was about 15 years old.
Lord
This was
Bevel.
all in Sona's story. And
Okay.
because of Sona, we know it happened about 10 years ago. Nar has to be over 9,000 years old.
Jesus.
He lived through the Three Sisters.
Oh,
Gragas
okay.
might be about 50. It's a pure estimation, but we know
I
he
thought
blinked
he was-
with Ashe when she was already the War Mother.
Oh, whew.
Graves is estimated to be 45. That's because he spent a long time in prison. And based
45
on his
years?
age, Twisted Fate should be about 40. Gwen is 1 year old.
'Cause she
You can
was-
find her in the Ruined King game on the
Yeah,
Shadow
she was,
Isles, and we
mid.
know exactly when that happened.
Yep.
Of course, you may argue that she was alive even
But-
as a doll on Kamavor,
So she's-
and if you count that, she
How is she 1 year? She's 1 year old, and she has the consciousness of like.
would be one.
It's just a game. I know it's just a
That
game.
is if she was made when Isolde was 13. Now let's bunch together the
Yeah,
entire
cool.
Kamavor. If Hecarim was 32 during the Ruination,
What?
which happened 1023 years ago,
Hecarim. That's his name,
would be
Hecarim.
1055. This would be the same age as Grail, the Warden of Thresholds, which is the real name of Thresh.
Thresh.
This also means that
Okay,
Viego would
that
be
is-
slightly older at 1060, with Callista being his nephew at 1035.
Callista is a
which
woman.
also
What am I saying? Callista is a.
means
fucking-
that Yorick would be 1051, which is the same age as Necrit. And above all of them, we have
Vladimir.
who is Viego's distant uncle.
What? A guy was what? hemomancer. He's a hemomancer, not a vampire.
However, despite being related to the Kamavorian royal family, he is 500 years older than the rest. That's because Vladimir was there during the Darkin War, which happened 550 years ago, plus the current year, plus the fact that he was taken by the Darkin at roughly the age of 21. So he's 1569. Heimerdinger is a Yordle. He's immortal. Also, he has no lore. Ilaoi might be 45 by a pure estimation. She should be a bit younger. Irelia is 28. She was 14 when the invasion happened, and that happened 14 years ago. Ivern is over 8,998 years old. He was a Freljordian warrior from the age of the Three Sisters.
Yes.
Just like the other primal spirits, Jaina should be over 10,000 years old. If you want to be more accurate, she should be about 6,000 years old, because we have records of her from ancient Shurima. Jax is over 3,500 years old. That's because we know he was there when Ikathian.
Yep.
Jace is estimated to be 30 because he is similar age to.
Isn't he? Fuck. I'm still mixing up Arcane with fucking League of Legends. Arcane is not Arcane is not canon to League of Legends. They're not like the same. So stop doing
Victor. And we know that Victor should be 30 because he was 19 in the bio before he went to the university, where he was for about 3 years, plus another 8 years into the present days.
Sure.
Jin, and I swear I didn't do this as
about
a joke,
40?
is anything between 40 and 44.
I knew.
That's because it is estimated that he was over 26 years old after the invasion happened, which happened 14 years ago.
Okay.
Kaisa can't be older.
My fucking baby girl.
That's because we know that she spent 10
I love Kaisa.
years in the void, and her bio mentions she was less than a decade old back then. Also, it was confirmed that she is younger than Talia. Now, Talia was confirmed to be 24 in a tweet, but here's why that tweet should be wrong. If she was 16 during the invasion of Ionia, that would be 14 years added on top of that, and so in reality, Talia right now is 28. But yes, it still means that.
And in the call, she looks so much younger than fucking Kaisa.
Kaisa is younger than her.
Wow.
Karma is about 34. In the bio, it is mentioned that she was 12.
Legs, bro, the legs.
Years
Karma.
Which, let's say, is 8. And then you add the 14 from the invasion on top of that. Karthus can't be older than 649. That's because he was a kid in the slums of Noxus. And Noxus exists for 649 years. Pantheon is.
God, you fucking chat! This is the fucking chat! You pad the fucking on! Come on, bro! Yo, my boy's 60.
And he ascended at the age of roughly 28.
Yo, my
also,
boy.
we know that Iula, the wife of his best friend, was 68. So it matches the number.
Yo, Pantheon, yo.
It should be 47.
Oh,
he was about
that's my
28 when he had Kaisa.
That's my
so
father-in-law.
her age on top of that.
That's my father-in-law.
Gale should be slightly more than 706. She traveled to Demacia before it was founded as a kingdom, which happened in 292.
Thought they would have been older.
Minus the current year. Morgana is her twin, so they are the same age. Kain has to be less than 24. His story mentions that he was no more than 10 when the invasion happened, 14 years ago. Kennen is over 10,000 years old.
Kennen is
He
in there.
remembers the ancient wars of the First Lands. Kha'Zix is estimated to be 10. It's a pure estimation, but the void evolves really quickly. Kindred are there. Glad is a Yordle. He's immortal. But he was first mentioned during the Battle of Droon, which happened 1398 years ago. So he has to be more than that.
Yep.
Kog'Maw is estimated to be 6, since he was summoned by Malzahar, and Malzahar's reference is quote-unquote years since.
What?
LeBlanc is over 1398, because she was there during the reign of the Dark Revenant.
With Lee
Sin should be about 39. It is an estimation, but he was a boy at Shojin, and then years passed before he met Udyr. Lilia has quite a massive gap.
Lilia.
She can't be older than 8,998
Wow.
because she was born after Omikaelan was destroyed. So it is after the story of Ivern. But she has to be at least 40 because a figure similar to Yasuo happened to appear in her story.
At least
With
40.
Yasuo there being about 26. So Lilia can be anything between those two numbers. In
Wow.
reality, I'd say she is
That's a
over
big-
1,000.
That's a
Because
big
after the invasion
gap.
happened, aggressive thoughts started invading her dreaming tree. Lysandra is over 9,000 years old. She
First
is on the
sisters.
timeline.
War
Lucian should be
choices.
over 32. According to the comics and the
Same as
timeline,
Senna, probably
Senna
like
spent 5 years
30.
in the Lantern. If that happened at the age of 25, we got about 7 or 8 years into the current days.
Senna's probably the
which
same
also
age.
means that Senna would be 34.
Senna's older.
Lulu is a Yordle. Malphite
girl.
can't be older than
My girl,
3,500 because he was created after the Icathian War. Malzahar is about 35, but that's absolutely a pure estimation. Maokai is over 10,000 years old. He
Clad.
came to be before the first living memory, so
You
it
see,
had to be
he has
before
the
first
rune
life.
shit on his
Master
forehead.
Yi is about 35. He was 15
Big
in
boy
the story
Yi.
with Doran. Then he was
Doran's
over 20
blade.
when he became a master, because they all called him a young master.
Young master.
And then the Noxian invasion happened 14 years ago.
And then my boy just fucked
Mordekaiser
everybody
is
up.
over 1400 years old.
1400?
His reign ended 400 years before the present days. Nami should be more or less 18.
Huh?
Her bio mentions that she became the Tidecaller at the age that's anywhere from 10 to 19.
What?
And then she spent 2 years looking for the aspect of the moon. Theoretically, she can be 12. Realistically, she is about 18. Nasus
Wow.
is over 3,500 years old. He served the Empire before Icathia. Renekton is the same,
Same age.
just slightly younger.
Okay.
Nautilus is anything from 211 to 110.
There's
He lived
219 you
after
have
the
there, bro.
order was founded, but we also know that his former crew died, which likely happened about 80 years ago. Nico is estimated to be
Nico!
230. 200 is a pure guess based on her bio, but
230
she also
years.
met Nidalee when she was about 30. Also, based on the art alone, Nidalee in the present days should be about 35.
Okay.
Nocturne can't be older than 1011.
I thought they
He
said-
was born
I thought they said Nocturne is one of the ancient demons.
at the end of the Rune Wars. Nunu is estimated to be 8.
9.
His bio mentions that he was 5.
I was close.
And then,
I was
quote,
close.
Years came and went.
I was close.
Willem should not be older than 9,000 years,
Oh,
because the Yedis were wiped out during the War of the Three Sisters, with Willem being a Yedi magic that was left behind after the war. Olaf is a pure estimation of
50?
40.
Oh, 40.
Oriana is estimated to be about 26. She was pure human until 18. That's when the chemical spill happened and she got corrupted. And connected to Blitzcrank, we know that happened roughly 8 years ago. Ornn is over 10,000 years old.
Big boy, Ornn boy.
Like Anivia. And the same goes for Volibear.
Volibear.
Poppy has to be over
Puffy!
706.
Puffy! Yo, look at fucking Puffy, yo. Yo, Puffy, like a real fucking medicine. Puffy look like, who you talking to, bitch?
He is older than Demacia.
Puffy!
Similar to Galio.
Gali.
But Galio is younger than that because he was created after the foundation of Demacia. Pike is estimated to be 45. He would
Pike!
be roughly 35 when
Yo.
he got corrupted. Kiana is estimated to
Kiana.
be anything
Yo, the
from
elementalist,
18
yo.
to 20.
Oh,
Her
fuck,
bio
Kiana.
keeps reminding us that she is very young,
Girl.
and she started mastering her elemental training at the age of 7.
You only know it.
Rakan is about 100
Yo,
years old,
what?
similar to Zyra, who lived for about 70 years. You know, the Vastaya live longer, but she also remembers when the Vastaya started making deals with humans. If you add the invasion of Noxus on top of that, both of them would be roughly 100 years.
Wow.
That would also match Ari. Ramesses' age is okay.
Okay.
Really, we don't know.
Because that's what my boy be saying. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Rek'Sai has 5 lines.
Queen
of lore.
Rek'Sai.
Rel is 16. Her
What?
bio
This,
straight up mentions
this is
her
what I don't understand. yo.
Rengar is estimated to be 60. The only info
Same
on his
like
age is when
Braum.
a human helped him quite a few years ago. Riven should be anything from
30.
26 to 29.
Okay.
She was
I
young
was gonna
when
say
she was
28.
building a longsword. that would be at about 12 to 15.
Wow.
That's when she was taken by Noxus, and then the invasion happened.
And she became a
Rumble
fucking...
is a Yordle. Rise is over 1011. He is slightly older than the Rune War.
Crazy!
Samira is estimated to be 32. She was taken into
She's
Noxus
sexy
when
as
she
well.
was about 16 years old. Then she had 2 years of military training, and then whatever time passed into the present days.
baby girl?
Seraphine is estimated to be 18.
Seraphine!
Though her lore happened very recently, so
Yo!
she might not even be
Look
18,
how much she's just
but that's all
stylish.
guessing. Sett is hilarious.
Huh?
Because everything points at the fact that Sett would be 14. First of all, his...
No fucking way. No way. No way is this guy 14 years old. He's of a style. No. No. Me with this
mother
guy.
is a Vastaya. Who knows how quickly the Vastaya age? But his father was a Noxian in Ionia. First of all, Noxians started traveling to Ionia during the invasion. Now, it is possible for a few Noxians to be there before the invasion. However, Sett's father was a pit fighter in the Noxian pits in Ionia.
Yes.
And those were definitely built during the Noxian invasion. It was mentioned multiple times during the Sisterhood of War. Also, Sett's bio mentions that there were scores of soldiers fresh to the shores of Ionia. All of this points at the fact that Sett might actually be about 14 years old. Shake.
How is Sett 14? How?
Go. Doesn't even exist.
Huh?
Shen should be
Shaco-
about 38. The flashbacks in the comic happened 21 years
Shaco
ago.
doesn't
and those
exist?
were roughly when he was 14. Also, in the comic, the Noxian invasion happened 10 years ago, so we know that the entire comic series happened 4 years ago. So Shen should be 38, with Zed being younger
Come
at
on.
35.
Bad boy Zed.
Shyvana might only be about 20 years old.
Oh.
She was described as young woman. However, she was born as an egg in the batch of a dragon known as Yiva.
So much
Then Shyvana was stolen away, and Yiva waited for all the other dragons to take flight before she herself went out to find Shyvana. Which means that Shyvana's age is however long it takes for a dragon to learn how to fly. So she should be about 20, if not less than that.
Wow.
Singed is 75 by pure estimation.
Singed.
If he was a professor at 30,
My
which is
boy
roughly
Fizz,
when you
yo.
normally become a professor, then he had years
Fucking
of
Mr.
research,
in the back,
and
man,
then
they
the
Warwick in
invasion
the back.
happened 14 years ago. Sion should be over 100 years old. He should be slightly over 100 because he killed Jarvan II. So if Jarvan III was 70-ish, then it was that plus the age of his father when he was born. Also, Sion's bio straight up mentions a century. Skarner is kinda a mystery, but we know that his
Who is
race,
Scorpion?
the Blackburn, are over 6,000 years old.
Wow.
Because they were there long before the rise of Shurima's greatest empire. Soraka is a celestial.
Soraka!
She was there from
From the beginning. Yes.
Swain is estimated to be 50. He was
Wrong.
part of many conquests, and he was roughly 35 by the time the invasion happened.
Okay.
So you add 14 on top of that. Silas is anything from 27 to 30. He was
big buff,
imprisoned
bro.
at the age of roughly 12.
27
but we
to
know
30,
that he
yo,
was
that's-
imprisoned for 15 years.
Yo, that's
Syndra is
fucking wild. You've been in jail from since you're 12 until about 30, yo. 15 years in prison from a child, yo. That has to fuck with
estimated
your
to
mind.
be over 300 years old.
Syndra.
Because she was locked underneath Phalor, and it was mentioned that Phalor stood for centuries. Tamkench is a demon. Who knows? Talon should be over
Talon.
30. It's a pure estimation. His lore has 3 paragraphs, but he should be similar to Katarina.
Okay.
Tariq should be 28, similar to Garen. Timo and then all the rest of the Yordles, including Veigar, Tristana, Vex, Ziggs, and Yumi,
Yumi!
are all Yordles with no reference to time. Trundle is a pure estimation of 80. We
80?
have no idea.
Trundle
Tryndamere
the
is
troll.
estimated to be over 32.
I thought
should
he would
be
have been
older
older.
than Ash.
Yeah, I thought he would have
Twitch
been
has
older.
3 sentences of lore.
Oh shit.
Urgot is estimated to be 50. He should be similar age to Swain, since Swain sent him away during the last days of Boren Darkwind.
Oh.
Varus, as in the Darkin, is over 5,998 years old.
Shit.
But the two humans who share his body, Valmar and Kai, should be 35. They were about 21 when the invasion happened. Vayne should be roughly 30. Her parents died at the age of 16. She earned her first kill at 18. And then several years went by before she got in touch with the Witch of Freljord, and then you add the present days on top of that.
The Witch of
Vel'Koz
Freljord
is estimated to be 6,000 years old.
6
History
grand.
mentions that he existed thousands of years before Icathia, which happened 3,500 years ago.
Nice.
But we also know that he is a creation of the Watchers, and the Watchers started influencing
Yeah,
Runeterra
the same
9,000
fucking
years ago.
eye. The
So
same eye.
realistically, he should be about 6,000 years old.
Vel'Koz.
Warwick would be a pure estimation. His past is a mystery. But if the Vander theory holds, he would be about 55. Vander was about 48.
God!
Wukong lived for countless years.
What,
That's all
2,000?
we know. But he might be about 100, just like Ari.
Okay.
Zerath should be 3,035.
Pussy.
He is slightly older than Azir.
He's the biggest pussy I've ever
might
seen.
be about
30.
39, since he would be about 15 years older than Talia and Riven. That would also make Yone 42, since
Because
he is
Yone is
Yasuo's
older.
brother.
Yep.
Zack is about 7. It's an
What the
estimation,
fuck?
but we know he was a sentient pool of dirty water before he was
Sentient pool of dirty water.
refined. His story is also related to Saito Takeda, who has not been a baron for very long. Zillion is over 3,500 years old. He is an old Icathian mage. Zeri might be about
Zeri.
19. She is younger than Echo. Zoe is between 1,000 and 1,550
Zoe! Yo, I love
years old.
fucking Zoe's
Her
character
story
design.
is likely happening before the Rune Wars, so she has to be over 1,000. But she can't be older than Maisha, who
And
was
she's-
the previous aspect of
she-
Twilight,
she's
who
still
was
so-
there during the Darkin War.
She's still so childish, you know. She's just like childish by heart, you know. She's over 1,000 years old and she still have the childish aura.
And lastly, there is Zyra, who
Zyra.
was born during the Rune Wars, so she would be
1010.
1,010. And that was the canon age of all the champions.
Wow.
Once again, it is definitely possible that I missed a detail or two. And that might have been crucial enough to pinpoint the age exactly for some champions.
That's
but I'm
okay,
still
bro.
confident as I say that this might be the most
Pantheon!
accurate list when it comes to the age.
Onwards!
It really took us a really long time to put it all together.
Thank you very much for
You
that,
can't
bro.
imagine how much work went into it.
Yo.
So, see you in 4 years when stuff gets retconned and I have to do it again.
Yo, shit, bro. Yo, some of these ages are like friggin' puzzling to me. I think, how can Sett be 14 years old? 14, bro? That doesn't make any fucking sense, man. No, that's I know I trust friggin' Necrit when it comes to this stuff, but 14 years old. My boy basically like 30. You see my boy look like a friggin' beast, and he's still, I mean, it could be because of how he reacts with his mother and be like, oh, they're my mama, I love her. But 14, yo, I was one wild. That was a wild one. But this was a friggin' nice informational, informative. This was a nice informative video. I said informational. What the fuck? Yeah, so I appreciate this one. I got this recommendation from someone. I don't know if it was a first time viewer or something, but yeah, this was a nice video. Okay, be informative and stuff. So yeah, thank you so much, man. Thank you everybody who's here. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. I appreciate everything. So this is the end of the video, guys, unfortunately. So man, until the next video, peace the fuck out.